Customer states this shaft is stuck in the bearing. Maxed out as 20-ton press. Broke the housing. Well, the shaft doesn't go out that way. There's a shoulder. You gotta take this here gear off. The shaft goes out that way. Some jackwagon welded the nut on. So that's where we'll start. Definitely needs done. This is off a mower gearbox. This is a vertical shaft. Bearing's all rusty. I think it's seen some water. This is like an early 80s. Oh, predates bush hog. 12-foot tow behind mower. So the game plan, disassemble, braze these back on, stick them in the lathe, true up that surface, and finish rebuilding his gearbox. A few minutes with the trusty die grinder, the small Christmas tree carbide. Wallered out the weld into the shaft a hair, but it'll clean up. We'll probably get a new nut or make one, but it's spinning off. Well, that went well. Starting to think the nut's supposed to go on tapered side out. That makes sense, right? Well, the gear came right off. It was coming off before I even had the nut off. And the shaft that wouldn't move with 20 tons of pressure, well, it comes right out when you pull it the right way. That one's a little stuck. It's probably marred on there. Take a little tappy tap. Another casualty of the ill-fated press move. Okay. Now on to the fun part. Let's get this cleaned up. So what the shaft looks like. No problem with the structural integrity. We'll hit that with a file. Bevel it a little bit more. Knock that weld off. There's still plenty of thread on there. I think this is supposed to have a set screw. So we'll figure something out that's a little more serviceable than welding. So I got this all cleaned up. Get this clamped in where I want it. Probably a couple pieces of flat bar across here to keep it true. I don't know, a band clamp, figure something out. Get it tacked in a few spots. Get the carbide burr back out. Grind that almost 50% all the way through. Braze it up. And then do the same to the back side. Grind it out almost 50% and put plenty of braze in there. That'll be plenty strong for what this is doing. There'll be some machine work when I'm done. Have to re-true this face. Probably re-drill the holes. Should turn out pretty good. So there's my clamping system. That should be plenty close enough flush with the sealing surface. Even if I got to take 15-20 thou off the original, we could always adjust the gear mesh with the gasket. I have a feeling it's got plenty of wiggle room. But I'm going to probably stick a tack here to get both of them. Maybe try and get one over there and one right on top here. That should stick it together enough. I'll probably start grinding from the back side and get that all brazed in, then come back and finish up on this side. But that puzzle pieced together quite well. This side just about feels factory. Up here, this one's just a hair high. And then this one, I think it's got a little bit of stress when it broke. Looks really good in here, but a little lip-a-doo right there. But tomorrow, we'll get this whole thing heated up to 350, 400 degrees. Burn some of this leftover oil out. It'll do a bit of a smoke show, get the rest of the paint off. Start at it. A little closer look. It's been about an hour and a half. Still got some warmth in her. 150. 160. Alright. Brazing never looks good till you knock it back down, but hopefully that's stuck on there good enough to grind out the backside. If it's good and stout, I may go ahead and do some grinding on this side. That way, when it's hot, I can get the majority of it done. Progress. It's been 3 hours. Let's see. Oh, she still feels hot. Oh. Damn. $270. Okay. Yep. It's too hot to touch. 3 hours under the blanket. We'll get her down to 150 before I do anything with it. So I got this thing set up in the 4-jaw chuck. I just eyeballed it off the indicator marks here and got it pretty close. I did mess with it some when I tightened it. So this surface in here has been turned. So that should be fairly true to the inside. This here, I should have looked closer. But after I cleaned it up, that's rub marks from like something wrapped around the blade of the mower. So I'll probably end up heating this back up and laying some more braze in there because that's fairly substantial. But anyways, within a couple of thou here, I have my edge bore indicator on it. It's really nice having two. Can't quite see it, but I'm looks like within 15 thou there. This thing on 0 so I get an idea. Oh no, that's within 8 thou. Get you moved over here some. The glare out of there. So I'll do some tapping around on this and get her dialed. So I'm on 3 points on this one. There's a low jaw. I'm gonna attribute that to the casting and some of this wear. That one's 2 thou low right there, but that's 0. That's 0. That's 0. That brought me in a lot closer over here. So let's see. That's 0. 4 thou. 3 thou. 4 thou. This isn't looking as round as I would like it. Okay. I'll move this indicator over to here and get 3 points off of it and see how close I am to that. Because that's what actually locates on the other housing. And I'll probably check this face as well. I'm hoping that didn't distort from the heat, or if it was just always like that. So just check the face. Within a thou there. This one, 0. It's just under a thou. Just under a thou. That's pretty close. I did knock this just a little bit. About a thou. I'll reset, and check the face. So this one, there's about 0. Two thou. Half thou. Thou. That's way out. So 3.5 thou. So I'm going to tap this face in closer. And then readjust this face with the jaws. Not worry so much about the backside close to the jaws. Get it trued up here where I'm actually cutting. Yeah, that'll be better. So let's see which way we need to go here. One thou, 2.5, 2.5, 1, 1, 1. Some 0 there, 90. It's about 6 thou, 10 thou. So we're going to loosen this one right here. This one, 10 thou, open that one. That's looking pretty good. Just a little bit. Okay, so 0, 2 thou, 3 thou. A little loosen. Ooh, too much. Bring it back to 1 thou. It's 1 thou. 1 thou. Ooh, I like it. I like it. Re-snug my jaws. Okay, that one's pretty tight. One thou, 1 thou, 1 thou. So half thou. It's about 0. It's about 0. It's about 1.5 thou. Oh, right there is about 1 thou. I think that's going to be as close as we get this thing for an old casting. We'll see how she spins. Okay, let's see what I want here. We're going to start slow. Give her a 150. Interesting. That center bore in the casting isn't anywhere close to the bearing bore, but that's just through clearance. Well, let's start making some cuts and get it close and see what it looks like. Got a lot to remove. Yep. All right, good. Get the DRO running. More time seeing what I'm dealing with here. getting somewhere. Long ways to go still. Before I get too carried away, I gotta readjust my tool here because I can't get all the way out. So I'll be right back. So I've got this face down, maybe 10 thou, a little less left. I haven't touched the original face yet, so my indicating must be within that anyway. I've still got a ways to go on this one, so we'll come in and get that within about 10 thou. I'll probably re-indicate, make sure nothing moved on me, and take a little scratch off these original faces to blend everything. A thou or two isn't going to make a difference. The more I look at this thing, the more I realize how beat up it is. It's had a hard life. This side under here is underneath the mower deck, so I might use a file or something when I'm done and clean up some of the boogered areas. I see. I don't think that's going to clean up right there. That's low, but I know I got the brazing all the way in the crack. So this outside, I'll just file smooth. I did better on the back side. This top side, I was still getting the hang of it. I'm getting into a little bit of cast iron there. We'll go back to the face and see what that looks like. So I'm getting into the cast iron here where the broken tabs are. If I have this zeroed for the tool bit and move the tool bit and touch here, it's 3 to 4 thousandths to go before I'm into the original face. So that means my clamping setup when I tacked it was pretty dang close. I was well within 5 thousandths back to where it was. I'm glad it was aired this way and not that way, so I'll have to take very minimal scratch pass on the original face, which was nice. It's cleaning up pretty good. I don't see too many missed spots in there. Once I make these holes again, it'll look a lot better as well. So let's take our, I might just dial in like 2 thou, see what happens. Not quite there yet. There it is. Taking a little bit off right there. A little bit off right there. Scratching around through there. A few little holes. Didn't wet it in quite as good. I'm gonna call that. I'll have to do the same to this. Hopefully it turns out that good. So I have my tool bit zeroed from my last cut here. Coming in and just touching it to the original, I got about 2 thou left. So I'm gonna go ahead and dial in to, well, I'll try a 0 run first, make sure nothing moved. Okay, dial in 2. So that went all the way around. Here we can see a little better. shined up just a little bit, but it didn't even take all the, I guess, mill scale, whatever, off. I would like that to clean up a little bit more there. I guess it's pretty smooth. That's where I ground out my V up into that a little bit, so it's going to have some showing. But I don't think I want to take any more than that to leave the stock locating surface. Clean up all that with a file. Looking good. So I'm calling this lathe operation done. That face is non-critical. I knocked down all the high stuff. It was a pretty rough casting to begin with. Started knocking this down with a file. Decided I'll just use the belt sander once it's out. Wish I had this built up a little bit more right there, but it's going to be fine. So the next step is get this in the mill and knock these 3 holes out. Not quite sure if I want to indicate off the center bore or this outside. Probably the outside, being I just trued it up and pick up the bolt pattern. Or I may just eyeball it and poke a few holes. The back side I'm going to leave. I'll show you that later. It looks plenty good, and it's going to get polished up from the mowing anyways. So that was successful. I'm happy I got it indicated close enough to not remove a substantial amount off of any of the original. So we're over here at the mill. This is fairly non-critical. I just slapped it in the vise. On the small mill here, I didn't have enough room for a V-block or anything like that. She ain't going nowhere. I made an executive decision to just eyeball these. The original holes are 9/16 for a 1/2 inch bolt. That's a lot of clearance. So I have my 9/16 end mill. I've amazed myself in the past eyeballing things and then checking, get things within 5-10 thousandths quite regularly. So I'll take my time and get things lined up on what was left of the hole. And with the amount of clearance a 9/16 is going to give me, I'm pretty sure the holes in the other housing will line up. It's enough to get the bolt in anyway. Fairly non-critical. It's not rocket surgery. I'm just looking at the tips of the end mill. I'm just scratching the back side here. I can still see a little bit of daylight on this side. Kick her that way. Actually, let's turn on the digital so I know how much I'm moving here. That button. I'm going to zero both of them. Okay, the X is looking pretty good. Looks like I have some daylight on this side. We'll hang her to the right some. There's right 4 thousandths. just scratched right here. Come towards me, a couple thou on the Y. There's 2. I think I can go to the right a little bit more. 4 more thou to the right. It's weird having this camera in my way. Let's see. Light on the subject. It's picking up a chip just a little bit right there again. It's really close on the back side as well. Okay, here come towards me another couple thou. Another 2. Oh yeah, that's looking a lot better. Still touching there. Couple thou towards me again. This side is the original hole. This side was the broken piece, so I'm focusing a little bit more on this radius back here, getting one of the teeth to sweep evenly across the backside. That's pretty dang close. I think I can go back to the left a little. So I want 6. So a wore out mill doesn't like moving in small increments. Okay, that was 3. So this flute here is looking pretty close. Like on this back side here. I think I might just send that. For the amount of clearance we got, that's going to be plenty close. All we got to do is make the hole round again.